least at some point in our life, every one of us has thought, what is my purpose? Maybe sat down and just thought for a while, what is your purpose? It seems so difficult to really come up with a purpose. You're like, find the cure to cancer, solve a sustainable energy problem, end world hunger. But you can't solve world hunger. You don't know how to find a cure to cancer. You don't have the resources, time, or energy required to go on such an endeavor. So then you kind of just went on with your normal life because it seems untangible and unrealistic. You can't really do anything about it. There is a much better approach to purpose. An approach that is practical, that is tangible, that will allow you to have your purpose by the end of this video. I introduce to you the superior man's approach to purpose. Now, purpose is like an onion, and you probably don't see any connection to an onion and purpose.
Layers! Onions have layers.
Now, purpose works in layers. When you sit down and think about purpose, you think about the innermost layer. Core, deep, divine, honorable purpose, like finding a cure to cancer. But that's impractical and unrealistic right now. You can't find a cure to cancer, so you shouldn't try to do it right now. But around that deep, divine core purpose that you don't really know what it is right now is layers and layers and layers of other purposes. And each layer is progressively less magnificent. So you come to the outermost layer. Now, this outermost layer to purpose is this thing that you can pursue right now. You might be like, okay, well, what is that? That current purpose layer is the thing that you think about the most. When you're just in an empty room with nothing in there, nothing stimulating you, what does your brain automatically turn to? Now, some of you might immediately be like, oh yeah, like I've got that one thing. To me, it was, I wanted to have an aesthetic body. I wanted to become jacked. But with a lot of you, you'll just be like, I don't know. I mean, if I were just in an empty room, I'd start thinking about my Minecraft base or about Fortnite or about that YouTube video that I watched. The problem is that you're constantly stimulating yourself. You're never thinking. I mean, thinking isn't really a thing we do these days, is it? When's the last time you just sat down for half an hour without your phone, without a book, without any form of outside stimulation and stare at a wall and just think? What is that thing that I want the most? Maybe something like I want to build an aesthetic body. Or maybe you're a broke teenager. Maybe you're in a dead-end job. You want to start a business so you can live on your own terms. It would be one of these things that if you can just achieve one thing right now, you do that. What's different about the way of the superior man in pursuing purpose compared to the way of the average man? Let's take the example of building an aesthetic body. The average guy would go like, okay, well, let's get a gym membership. Let's try to eat a little bit more calories and let's just start working out. Okay, I mean, you get some gains, get a little bigger, get a little more attractive. But the way of the superior man is to obsess over that one thing and to make it the center of your life. And right now you might be like, okay, that's just kind of weird. Obsess and make the center of my life to build an aesthetic body. And I've got a job or I've got school, I've got bills to pay. I can't make this the center of my life. And yes, right now, you won't be able to give 100% of your attention towards it because you aren't, I guess you could say you're not a superior man yet. You're still pretty average guy, and so am I. But what you should do is just give that purpose as much of your time and energy, and especially mental energy, as you can. So dedicate the most amount of energy and time to it that you can. Start doing research about like what food should I eat, how much calories should I get. Start making friends with guys who are already working out and start learning from them about what kind of workout should I be doing, what kind of post-workout routine can I have for best muscle recovery. Just optimize it as much as possible and obsess over the process. And let's say you do that for a year, or maybe 2 years. And after that time, you peel off, find the next layer. Okay, so now we have our second layer of purpose, and I've got a messed up onion. Now this second layer would be something a little more purposeful, a little more meaningful. So now you have the aesthetic body, and for the last year you've completely obsessed over it, learned as much, optimized as much around it. And now that layer came off, you have the body. Now you move on to the next layer. You decide that you want to start a business, or you want to start maybe a YouTube channel like I'm doing now. If an average guy started a YouTube channel, he would just be like, okay, well, let's make the channel, slap on some channel art, and let's just start throwing videos together and slapping on a little bit of editing, uploading it once every 2 weeks. And if we do that, eventually the channel will grow, hopefully, and we'll get some good compounding of our views, and eventually the channel will get big. But the way of the superior man is to make that thing your obsession, to make it the center of your life, and to be willing to change everything about your life to accommodate this new purpose. So the way of the superior man would be to make YouTube biggest thing in your life. Like when you go to the gym, you're listening to podcasts about YouTube. And at night, you're journaling about YouTube. When you're sleeping, you're dreaming about YouTube. When you're consuming content, it's about how can I make better videos? How can I improve the quality of my videos? How can I upload more regularly? What workflows can I use to improve the process? What are the big YouTubers doing in their content creation process to make it as optimal as possible? You make it the center of your life. Let's say for the next 2 years, you just obsess over YouTube. But now you left that previous purpose of building an aesthetic body. You've got the body. Now you obviously need to continue to maintain that body. So you still go to the gym. But now doing that is not your center of your life anymore. You no longer obsess over finding the perfect workout routines and learning about how much protein you should be eating. You kind of already have that knowledge. And you've kind of already built up that body. So you continue to work out to keep building up a better body, but that thing is now mostly being maintained. So with every new layer of purpose, you maintain the previous layers while still giving like 95% of your energy to a new purpose layer. Let's say 2 years later, you've been uploading a video every single week. Every video has been better than the previous one. You've learned everything you could about YouTube, and you've built your channel up to, let's say, 500,000 subscribers. And you've built up a team of editors and animators and managers to help you manage this channel. And now you only have to do 3 hours of work a week on that channel. You only have to do the filming. The rest is being taken care of by your team. Now you can take that layer and peel it off. Now, next you might decide, well, I want to learn French. The way of the average man would be maybe get a French tutor online, take 3 French classes per week, 30 minutes a day. And yeah, you're learning a little bit of French, and after maybe 2 years, you can somewhat speak French. You're not really good at it. But the way of the superior man would be to leave everything else behind and to just obsess over that one thing now. The way of the superior man to go learn French would be to move to France into a small village, maybe get a job on a market in France where people barely speak English, and for the next 3 months you just make it your purpose to learn French, and it's all you do. You see, the way of the superior man, when it comes to purpose, is rapidly building up and then maintaining, and you do it with a whole bunch of little increasingly better purposes. Now, let's say you were to learn French and you're in France, in a small village. I mean, you couldn't have done that for your first purpose layer because you didn't have the capacity. And you can't just leave your job or school behind. But as you get deeper and deeper to those layers, you're able to dedicate more to each layer because you've built yourself up financially and mentally and physically to be able to accommodate those things. This onion is making a mess on my desk. Now, as you are in France, you still maintain the previous purposes. You're still working out, you're still filming videos, but you only have to do 3 hours of work for that. You only have to, let's say, work out 4 times a week. In the end, you can still dedicate like 95% of your energy towards learning French. And then peel off that layer. And now you find the next one. Something even deeper, even more honorable, more divine. And that purpose, this 3rd layer, 4th layer, isn't something you would have been able to do at the very beginning. You didn't have the capacity to do it. But if you start at the outermost layer and you go deeper and deeper and deeper, you will get closer and closer to that core divine purpose, the one that you're usually thinking about, like finding a cure to cancer. And if you will simply continue to peel back those layers, you will eventually get to that deep divine core purpose. I think this is by far the best way to live life. the typical way of living life is kind of like you're doing a whole bunch of things at once. Like the average man would be trying to start his YouTube channel, he'd be working out a little bit, he'd be having his job, you're also trying to learn French. In the end, you're trying to grow all of these things at once, and in the end, you're just bad at a lot of things. And the opposite of that, the one that I typically thought was the right path, was to just become good at one thing. Let's say you, for instance, took chess. You think, well, I'm just going to dedicate my entire life to chess. And you become an international master, a grandmaster, and you are great at chess, but I still have that nagging feeling in the back of my head, thinking, all I ever did was one thing. And sure, I'm great at it, but there was hundreds of other things that I wish I could have pursued, but I couldn't, and I didn't. But with this approach to purpose, where you have layers, you get to pursue so many different things, and you get to live these mini lives. Because with each purpose, you should be willing to quit everything you've done up to that point, to accommodate that new layer of purpose. You should be willing to change your entire life for that new layer of purpose. And you get to build up all of these incredible things, which will eventually lead you to your core purpose. And I honestly think that's the best way of living life. Now, if you watched all the way to the end of this video, I truly believe that you seek to live a superior life and that you took this information to heart. And if so, then check out this video I made about how school conditioned us to live a life of mediocrity.